The whole thing?
Yep, the whole practice.
Oh, it's just one.
It is multiple ones.
Come on, Luna. Watch Come on, Luna.
All right, so here we go. Everybody's quiet. Everybody's paying attention. You have your note card available, and of course your calculator available. And here we go. First question on the practice test says, solve this triangle. So we know what that means. That means find what you don't know. We also know that even though we have a note card, it's not going to help us on this problem, because if we are finding the angles and sides of a triangle, we aren't using our area formulas or our volume formulas. We are using either the law of sines or law of cosines. So let's take a look at the problem. What do you think? Yes, I hear you, Hannah. You're saying something about find the other angle. So we can do that very easily. If we have two angles, we can find the third one very easily, right? And now, what do your beady little eyes spy? A pair. Which means we will set up the law of sines. So sine 75 over 18 equals sine what? 49 over s. Now, I also am going to have to do the other one, so it really doesn't matter which order I do it. I have to do both of them.
Can I have a packet?
Oh, did I not hand them out?
You didn't hand them out. Salem was.
Oh, I gave him one now. Oh, but I didn't give you one. And text you didn't want to do it.
Text. I gave them to both of them, but not myself.
Oh, I gave you a different gospel. I handed you one with your quiz. I handed you one with your quiz. That's when you got the quiz. Oh, I gave him. He only has one. All right, here we go. Now, have you got this solved while we're messing around with Anthony who can't find his paper?
I'm sorry.
Now, you can show as much or as little work as you need to. You have to show your law signs. And then after that, I don't care what you write down. Whatever works for you, write down. And I got 1406 for S. And then I'll do exactly the same thing and get 15.45 for C. Now we should match exactly. We shouldn't be off one bit on that problem. There are times when we might be off a little bit, but this is not one of them. We can do those in either order. That's the answer you got to come up with. Okay? Next. Kind of the same thing, only it's different. We're still solving the triangle, but this time we have to find all of the angles, right? Okay, so here we go. Always law sines or law cosines to find the sides of a triangle or the angles of a triangle. What do you think would be appropriate in this one? It's going to have to be cosines, isn't it? Have to be cosines? So which angle do you want to find first? It doesn't matter, but let's all do the same one. C? So if we're going to find C first, then we're going to have cosine C over here. And over here will be 21 squared, the side that goes with the C. And then in the middle, we'll go 17 squared and 18 squared minus 2, 17, 18 cosine C. This one is a little bit tricky to type in because the variable is out there. So just be careful. Again, nobody cares how much you write down or don't write down, but make sure you write down enough that you're keeping track of stuff. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and add these up. It's 18 squared, 324. Yeah. So I got 613. Now, this is where we absolutely have to fight the temptation. The temptation is to subtract these two numbers, but we can't. So we can't subtract this way, we have to subtract this way. And then we can divide. Now, you might be tempted just to type this into your calculator, but be careful, that is not C. That's cosine C. What do we have to do to get C? We have to second cosine. I got 73.68. Now, if you found your angles in a little bit different order than this, you might be off a little bit from that. But again, you're showing me your setup. So this has to be written down. After that, it's up to you, but I have to know what order you did things. So we started with angle C. All right, where do we go now? We're not done. I already second cosine. I have my angle. It's 73.68. So now I can do the law of sines, because now I have that. So sine 73.68 over 21 equals sine, where do you want to go? S, so sine S over 17. Now, could you do sine H over 18? Sure. Just got to pick one and go. So you're going to, again, this is written down, and then you're going to show as much work as you want. Whatever work you show, you have got to make sure you're keeping track of what needs to be typed in. Notice that my variable is not S. It doesn't say S equals, it says sine S equals, which means, guess what? Second sine. 17 sine, 73.68 close parentheses, divided by 21. I got 50.98. What about angle C? Or H, I mean H. How am I going to find H? Subtract. So that one's going to have to be 55.34 for me. And that triangle is solved. Alrighty. Law of sines, law of cosines. Now, the next page is different. The next page is find the area. So here's where your note card's going to come in handy. Notice over here at the side, it tells you how to answer. So the first one I'm going to answer exactly. That means I can use my calculator for arithmetic, but I don't want a decimal answer. I want an exact answer. I need the area of this triangle. what do you think? You're looking at your note card, what seems appropriate? Hero's formula. If I'm doing Hero's formula, what's the first calculation I need to find?
6 was 5%. Half of it.
I need the perimeter, right? So what's the perimeter? 18. So the semi-perimeter, that's my S, will be 9. So on your paper, I need to see 9 times 3 times 4 times 2. Where did these numbers come from?
9 minus the
9 minus each of those. So 9 minus 6, 9 minus 5, 9 minus 7. In any order, doesn't matter. Now, you can use a calculator if you want. I'm not going to, because if I'm answering this exactly, I need to break down this radical. And the easiest way to break, it's already kind of broken down. So I have a 3 times a 3 times a 3 times a 2 times a 2 times a 2. So my 9 got broken down, my 4 got broken down, the 3 and the 2 are there. Right? Now what am I looking for? Groups of 2. So I can bring out a 3, I can bring out a 2, so that's a 6 on the outside, 3 times 2. And inside is the leftover 3 times 2. Now, if you want to multiply all that together, get a big number, and then build your tree and break it down, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. It's just kind of already broken down when it's in the under the radical. This is the exact answer. Will you have to do that on your test? Yes. This problem is exact. So you're going to need to be able to simplify your radical. All right, what's next? Next we have a parallelogram. And we're going to use a decimal here. Oh wait, by the way, I need a unit on this. Inches squared. That's an area, so I need to make sure that I'm putting my unit on there. All right, we haven't done many parallelograms. Anybody remember what our strategy is? What? Okay, now that will find the area of the triangle, right? And that's 1/2 side, side, sine of included angle. And then what am I going to do with that? Double it. So some of you may actually have written on your note card, and you don't need to, but you might, that because we are doubling, the half goes away. And for a parallelogram, it's just side, side, sine of included angle. So your answer is 8 times 10 times sine 138, 53.53 square centimeters. So you can either find the area of the triangle and double it, or just leave the half off and use side, side, sine of included angle. All right, now we've got a problem where we have to find the area of the segment, this right here. We know that's 96 and this is 6 millimeters. What's our strategy to find the area of the shaded section? Brendan?
Find the area of the sector.
So we'll find the area of the sector. So on your note card, if you can't remember, it tells you how do we find the area of a sector. We do angle divided by 360 times pi r squared, which would be 36 pi. Now, we're doing this decimally, so you can go ahead and type that in. I got 30.16. Did I do that right? I think it is.
What did you get? 30.
Well, you did it wrong. 30.
I did it twice and it's 9.6.
96 over 360 times 36 pi. I have no idea what you're doing, but it's 30. Okay, now, what else? That is not the area. That's the answer. That's not the answer. What do I need to do now?
Subtract by half pi r squared.
I have to take, no,
No.
Oh, wait, no.
I have to take the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 side, sine.
Yes.
So that is 17.90. And then what? Subtract. So if we take 30.16 and subtract 17.9, we get 12.26 millimeters squared. So my guess is you're going to have to do that on your test. So again, it's a two-part problem. You gotta find the area of the whole piece of pie. Then you gotta find the area of the triangle. And then you subtract them. Right?
Right.
Now the next one is the doozy problem. So we've got this strange shape. Okay, so Sean says, nowhere on my note card do I have a formula for strange quadrilaterals, but I do have formulas for triangles. So
That's a right triangle. So
that's a right triangle, so let's draw in that.
Pythagorean theorem.
The Pythagorean theorem will be root 85. Just doing the Pythagorean theorem. Let's let everyone catch up. That's the purple segment I drew in. That's the hypotenuse of a right triangle. That's going to be useful in a minute. Right now, I don't need that. Right now, what is the area of triangle 1? We can either do 1/2 base times height, or we can do 1/2 side, sine 90, whichever you want. They're going to be the same thing. So the area is going to come up to be 21. So the area of this triangle right here is 21. Now, ultimately, we need to find the area of this one and add them together, right?
There's the other side too.
So let's look at this. Let's look at this triangle. You know this side, triangle 2. You know this side is root 85. And you know this side is 10. Wouldn't it be awesome if we knew this angle? I don't know that angle. I know the whole thing is 110. But I don't have any idea how much that piece is. We didn't cut it in half. Please, it's not a rhombus. We didn't cut it in half. I don't know how big that is. So let's look over here. Could I find, I'm going to call, I need another color. Here's my green angle. Is this up? Can I find my green angle? I'll call it X right now. Can I find the green angle in this triangle right here? How would I do that? I could do the law of sine. I could say for my green angle, I could say sine x over 6 equals sine 90 over root 85. Right here in this triangle. Sine x over 6 equals sine 90 over root 85. Would you agree with that? All right, so let's do our cross multiply. Man, my marker smells.
What marker?
That
You
green
guys
one.
smell it? No, I'm sick.
Okay, so now I'll type in on my calculator, second sine, 6 sine 90, close parentheses, divided by the square root of 85. I got 40.60. Now, is that what I was looking for? No. I was looking for the red one. That's the one I needed, right? So if I take 110, I get 69.40. Now, can I find the area of triangle 2?
Yeah.
The area of triangle 2 is 1/2 root 85 10 sine 6940. Make sure when you're typing in root 85 that you close the parentheses after the 85. It's just like everything else. Gotta remember to close it. I got 43.15. And then the biggest mistake that's made, you get through all this, you've done all this work. Well, no, you gotta add them. Don't forget, you gotta add that to the 21, right? And then we'll put, I don't know what the unit is, we'll put centimeters on it. But we gotta add it first. So we add that to 21, and the final answer is 64.15 centimeters squared.
Oh, right.
It's a big problem. All right, now we got kind of an easy one. It's exact though, kids. So that doesn't change how we set it up, but just remember it's exact. So what's our formula gonna look like? Angle over 360 times pi r squared, which is 100 pi.
Don't look at me like that.
Now remember, your calculator can simplify for you if you do 112 divided by 360 times 100, and then hit math, enter, enter. I got 280 over 9 pi meters squared.
Answer fractions. Math.
We've already gone through it. We're not doing it every time. You gotta pay attention. Get notes when you're absent.
No, I'm talking about
Yeah, I know, we've already done that over and over again. We have, truly we have. All right, here we go, number 3. We gotta get through this. Let's go. Remember, where am I during flex? Right here. So if you got a calculator issue, bring it on in. We'll find a friend. A ship sails due south at a speed of 16 kilometers an hour for 5 hours. So here's the port, and the ship is sailing due south. Okay? So let's say he starts today and now he's at B. Now he has sailed 16 kilometers an hour for 5 hours. So how long is that? 80? 80 kilometers, yep. 16 per hour for 5 hours. Then he sails on a course of 099. So we gotta think back, we gotta remember. Straight up is 0, straight east is 90. So 099 would look like this. That's 99 degrees. Yep, it is. There it is. You gotta remember.
I'm saying, you're wrong.
From our work earlier with navigation, you gotta remember, this is the way it's set up. So 99 degrees would be down here. For 3 more hours at the same speed. So how long is this one? 3 more hours.
48.
48. 3 times 16, 48. How far is he from the original port? How far is he from where he started?
One half side.
Now, you see that setup, and you immediately, I'm glad, you're thinking 1/2 side sine. But what does 1/2 side sine find? Area. We don't want the area.
Right.
We need the length. And if you want the length of a side, you're going to do law of sines or law of cosines.
Cosine.
So which is it? Cosine.
It's true. Let me see. It's actually good. Oh, it's pretty.
So out here we have cosine 99.
Feel it.
And if we have cosine 99 out there, then we're going to have x squared here. And then in the middle, we'll have 80 squared plus 48 squared minus 2 times 80 times 48. Now this one's actually easier than the one we did earlier because the variable's over here. So you can just type it all in. Again, show as much work as you want, I don't care, but you really don't have to show any for this one. But you can, if you want. And I got the answer to be 92.53 or 99.53 kilometers. Is that right, Mamuna?
Yeah.
What? It's not area, it's a distance. If it's area, we square it, but we're not doing area, it's just a straight distance, which would be like miles or feet or inches or something like that. I've got a little typo here, that should say, the next one, number 4, the area is 28 pi centimeters squared. So I messed that one up big time. That should be 28 pi square centimeters.
I think you were going to put it in there.
I was, and I forgot. Okay, so this is a sector. You gotta remember that that's what the shape is. That's a sector. I know the central angle is 130.7. I have no idea what the radius is, but I know my area is 28 pi. Mikey.
Can you move the 130.7 over 360 by multiplying it?
130.7 over 360 times pi r squared should give me my area, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
If you put the angle over 360 and multiply it by pi r squared, I do not know what r is, so I'll just have to say pi r squared, I get this. Now, How do you want to solve that? Divide by pi? We certainly can do that, right? They'll be gone. So now I have 130.7 over 360 r squared equal to 28. Now what, Brendan?
No, I'm not right.
Mikey?
Multiply the fraction over.
When I multiply the fraction over, I have to multiply by the reciprocal of it. So I'm gonna multiply by 360 over 130.7.
Yes.
Because that'll cancel all that out. So now I have 28 times 360 divided by 130.7. Right? But that's not r, that is r squared. So I'll square root that guy. And I got 8.78 centimeters. My radius is 8.78 centimeters. This came out to be 77 something. As long as you're getting 8.78, yep. All right, now we have a rectangular box full of math problems. Math problems sell for $200 per cubic foot. And when I sell them, I earned $8,370. Find the height of my box if the length and the width are 2 and 3. All right. Wow. How do you find the volume of a rectangular solid? Length times width times height. So would you agree that the volume is 2 times 3 times h?
Yes.
Or 6h? Do I know what the volume of this box is?
Yes.
I think you can figure it out. So think about this for a minute. The price is $200 a unit, and I yielded $83.70. So how could I figure out how much I had? If I could divide, right? That's a division problem. So the volume is 8370 divided by 200. So 8370 divided by 200 is 41.85. So the volume of my box is 41.85 cubic feet. I know the volume is the same as 6h. So all I have to do is take 41.85 and divide it by 6. And the height of my box is 6.975 feet. No.
I'm just kidding, I'm sorry, I got you.
Just feet because it's a height, right?
Why would you do feet?
So, stop a minute and think. I'm telling you that I earned $8,370 by selling things worth $200 each. How would I figure out how many I sold? 8370 divided by 200. So that told me how many cubic feet of problems I have. That's the volume of the box. But I also know the volume is length times width times height. So to get the height, I just divided by 6. one more. Which holds more? A conical tank with a radius of 480 centimeters and a height of 620 meters, or centimeters, or a sphere with a radius of 3.5 meters. You're doing a comparison, right? We have to be careful, guys, because the units don't match. If you just calculated these, this is going to be a way bigger number because those are bigger numbers, but those are centimeters. This is a meter. How can we change centimeters in meters?
Divided by 100.
Divide it by 100. So instead of doing 620, we'll do 6.2 meters and 4.8 meters. And now they're both in meters.
Could you do that at the AT or final AT? Or
Well, the problem is then you're dealing in volumes. So you wouldn't be dividing by 100, you'd be dividing by 100 cubed.
okay.
Which I don't think you'd remember to do that, so it's probably easier to do it right from the get-go. Someday I'll tell you the infamous pea grubber problem that we had in our house, but not now. All right, here we go. I'm comparing the volumes of these two figures. This is a cone. What is the formula for the volume of a cone? 1/3 pi r squared h. Now, I don't have to do this exactly. I can do this decimally, so I'm just going to type that in. I have to compare these two numbers. So I'm going to type 1 divided by 3 times pi times 4.8 squared times 6.2. I got 149.59 cubic meters. That's the volume of that if I type that in right. Which I think I did. Now, sphere. What's the formula for a sphere?
4/3 pi.
4/3 pi r cubed. So 4 divided by 3 times pi times 3.5 cubed raised to the 3rd power. And I got 179.59. Yep. So you're going to have to answer the question. You're going to show this work right here. And then what are you going to write?
Sphere.
The sphere holds more, right? Because it has a bigger volume.
No work.
That's right. A triangular field has boundaries. It's a triangle. 112, 210, and 235. Yeah, that's right. That's good. Find the smallest angle of the triangle. Now wait a minute. How do I know which one is the smallest?
You don't.
Hunter? Across from the shortest side. That's right. So the shortest side is right here. So this is the smallest angle. What if we wanted the largest angle?
This is one.
Then it would be this one, because it's across from the biggest side. Right? Big angle, big side, little angle, little side. All right, how are we going to find that angle? Law of cosine. So we're going to have cosine x out here. and 112 squared out here. So 210 squared plus 235 squared minus 210, 235. This one's not as easy because that's where the variable is. Again, write down whatever you need to. Some of you don't need to write every single step down, and that's fine. These numbers are big.
Oh. What's that? Sean was like.
I got the answer to be 28.45 degrees. So I don't know if anybody else is there yet.
You were quick.
Anybody there yet? Get that? So that one, you just need to be careful. You are finding the smallest angle. Could be the biggest one, could be the middle one. Just pay attention to what the question asks for. Now, find the area of the field. I need to see your work because you got a couple of options here and they might be a little bit off of each other. When I say find the area of this field, and you've already done this work, what could you do?
Side, side,
One half, side, side, sine. So that would be an option for you. Area equals 1/2 side, side, sine of 28.45. And remember, if you're using 28.45, which is the only angle you have, you need to be using these two sides because it's always two sides and the angle in between them. So the area would be $1,175.4.96. Is this meters?
Yeah.
Now, what would be another option you would have to find the area if you chose? Hero's formula. And that actually would be more exact because you wouldn't be using any rounded off numbers. Either one is fine with me. You just got to make sure you're showing me your work. Okay? All right, so let's say you did 1/2 side, side, sine like we did here. The next problem says, the next part says, if property is selling for $28.70 per square meter, how much money is the field worth? What would you do to find out the value of your farm field? This is how many square meters you have. Each square meter is worth $28.70. You just multiply. So we'll take 11754.96 times 28.70. Wow! Your field is worth $337,000.
I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna get a field?
I need a break.
I'm looking sure about you.
I need.
So you found the price by using 228.70 times.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, last one. We have an ice cream cone. We know the volume is 267. We know the height is 6. And we do not know the radius. We have to find it. What's the formula for the volume of a cone?
1/3.
1/3 pi
36.
r squared h. So I'd go ahead, if I were you, and take care of that. That's just 12 pi r squared. What would you do now? You're trying to get r by itself. So what would you do? Divide by 12 pi? Caution, caution, caution. Anytime you divide by two things, you have to put it in parentheses. So make sure you're doing 267 divided by parentheses 12 pi. You can avoid that by dividing by 12 first and then dividing by pi. That's perfectly okay, but if you do them both at the same time, you have to have them in parentheses. Then what?
Take care of everything.
2.66 meters, inches. All right, have a good day.
It's like, hey.
What time is it? After you start